Hi there. Today I'm going to be doing a review of two graphic novels, and they are both the first in their series. One is Saga, Volume 1 by Brian K. Vaughan, and the other is Sweet Tooth Out of the Deep Woods, Volume 1 by Jeff Lemire, I think his name is. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start with Saga. Now, these are both graphic novels that I heard so much hype about on Book 2 that I really wanted to try them, so I was happy to finally get a hold of them and get started on the series. This has basically been described as a Romeo and Juliet kind of retelling, set in the future on a planet called Landfall, where this particular species with winged creatures live. And their satellite planet, or moon, is known as Wreath, and they have horned-type beings, all different types of horns. This one has a ram-type head. But the people on each of these locations are at war, and have been at war for quite some time, to the point where they're now like outsourcing the war to other planets to kind of protect their own home planets. The story follows Alana and Marco. And Marco was captured by Alana's people, and she was sort of a guard. And some kind of relationship developed while he was under her security. And the two take off together. Now, we don't see that relationship develop. It's sort of full-blown, already, well on its way as the graphic novel opens up, and Alana's actually giving birth to Marco's child. Now, the story is told from an interesting perspective. We have their daughter sort of narrating some of the story as it goes along. And you'll see that with, you have like the regular dialogue bubbles in terms of the events that are happening right away. But if you see these writing through here, this is their daughter speaking and telling about the events that you're seeing. And it's kind of interesting, kind of dual perspective. You're visually watching and reading the events, and you're hearing like her thoughts on what happened at that time. So she's relaying what happened in the past. There's a lot of themes running through this, war, racism, lots of very intriguing characters. Besides these two races here, there is like a robot race that literally has a human body from the neck down, but like a television head. Very, very strange. There is a planet called Sextillion, which is just like a sex planet. There are these freelance bounty hunters that are hired to go after these two people to basically kill them. I think they also want to try and kidnap the child. But one is very human, and there's another one that's like human-ish from the waist up, and then the rest of her is like an arachnid, kind of a spidery kind of character. Very unique, very interesting characters, very surprising at times. Overall, I like the plot. Whenever Marco and Alana are on the pages, I really enjoyed those moments the best. When they started following some of the freelance bounty hunters and stuff, my interest kind of, waned a bit. There are some very graphic images through here, very violent images. A lot of gratuitous sex seems to be throughout. So it is definitely geared more for adults, I would say. Some of those scenes didn't really seem to progress the story, and for that kind of bothered me. If it's in there and there's some purpose to it, okay, but there seemed to be a little bit too much of that for my taste. But there's another character that I like in here, and I'm trying to remember what her name is now. It's one of these ghost children, and this is one right in front here. She ends up sort of joining Marco and Alana on their journeys. And I really liked her character. Isabel, that was her name. So I'm hoping to see more of Isabel as the story continues. But maybe it was just overhyped to me, or just this first issue is sort of just the world building is still developing and stuff. But I didn't give it quite the higher rating that I seen everybody else seems to. I was more seeing it as like a three-star rating for this one. I still will continue it because I do kind of want to find out what happens to these two characters and their daughter and this very, very strange world. So I will continue it. In terms of the artwork, like I said, there are some scenes where, especially the scenes with Marco and Alana, they're more like earthly, muted toned. I'm trying to see some images I can actually show you. Let's see. There's a few back here. Lots of these like more bluish grays and browns. I like those images more than some of the really bright and garish scenes that you see on some of the other planets. Let's see if I can show you any of these. This is a pretty bright color scheme, but some of that didn't appeal to me as much as the other scenes. Like this is like way, way too bright for me. But overall, I mean, the characters are pretty interesting. There's even this cat called the Lying Cat. It knows when people are lying. Very, very intriguing, like I said, in terms of what the author and the artist have come up with. So I'm curious to see what's going to come in the next ones. I definitely recommend it, more for an adult audience, and like I said, I give it 3 out of 5 stars. The other graphic novel is Sweet Tooth Out of the Deep Woods by Jeff Lemire, and this is set after like a plague. They call it the affliction that has hit. It's killed quite a few people, and now any children born are sort of animal-child hybrids. They could have some sort of animalistic characteristics. As you can see, the one we have here, this is named Gus. He is a 6-year-old boy. He is part deer, so he has like the deer ears and the horns. He even has feet are kind of like little hoof-like. And he lives in the deep woods with his father, his only remaining family member. And his father is sort of preparing him for the day when he may find himself alone because he is not in really good health. He knows he's going to be dying soon. So he warns Gus, never leave the deep woods. You have to stay hidden. There are a lot of dangers out there, people that will try to kill him because they're frightened of, you know, beings like this. And so, unfortunately, danger comes to him. Once his father passes, it's almost inevitable that, you know, a 6-year-old boy being alone is not going to last long. And some hunters come and try to kill him. Luckily, he is rescued by a man named Jeopard. Now, this is kind of described in the back, so no spoilers here or anything, but Jeopard's kind of a drifter. He's a violent man, but he does sort of, like I said, come to Gus's rescue and agrees to sort of take him, because he doesn't feel it's safe to him staying where he is. But he said there's a place called the Preserve. It's sort of a safe haven for hybrid children, and he agrees to take him with. And I like the relationship that sort of develops between this really almost violent, like I said, man, a loner, who's now got this little 6-year-old kind of traveling along with him, and this kind of bond develops between them. And right up to the end, the ending was a bit surprising for me, and I can't wait to pick up the second one to find out what's going to happen between these two characters. Lots of, in terms of the artwork in this is more to my style. I liked all the earthly tones to it. This is a nice spread here. And I like Gus's look, too, and everything. There are some, bits of violence in here because, like I said, they are, coming across people that are trying to hunt him and kill him. Some gruesome images on the back. But I really, really enjoyed this. I really found myself liking this main character, Gus. And it's just a sweet little boy. He ends up getting his nickname, Sweet Tooth, from Jeopard, and you'll find out as you read the story. But like I said, I really, really enjoyed this one. This one I gave 5 out of 5 stars. And I will be continuing both of these series, like I said. Hoping this one, I've heard some people say that this one kind of gets better as it goes. So, we'll see if it improves on my 3-star rating from there. But overall, really, really enjoyed these. I recommend you pick them up. And hope you enjoyed these reviews. Thanks for watching.